The first time Sarah stepped into the crumbling estate, a scream tore through the air, a scream that was not human, yet somehow familiar. She froze, heart hammering, as the walls themselves seemed to shiver with the echo. The ancient manor, hidden behind overgrown weeds and thorny vines, had been abandoned for centuries, yet tonight it pulsed with life or death. Sarah's flashlight flickered, casting long, jagged shadows across peeling wallpaper and broken furniture. Every step she took felt like a trespass into a world that was not meant for the living, yet something in the darkness was waiting, watching, hungry. The smell hit her next. Damp decay mixed with something far fouler, like burnt hair and rotting flesh, making her gag. She wanted to run, but an invisible force held her in place, whispering through the walls, promising horrors too deep to imagine. The house had been a relic from an ancient era, built in the pre-colonial age by a family whose cruelty had long outlived them. Locals spoke of it in hushed tones, calling it the Vulture House, because, legend said, the family spirits had turned into scavengers, feeding on fear itself. Sarah's curiosity had been relentless. She was a paranormal investigator, but even she could feel the malevolence clawing at her mind as she crossed the threshold. Shadows moved against the direction of the light, and she realized with mounting terror that they were not mere tricks of her eyes. Something shifted in the corner of the hallway, hulking, malformed figure, its eyes glowing faintly red, peering at her from the darkness. It didn't move like a person, yet it moved too quickly for any human. As she ventured further, the floorboards groaned like tortured souls beneath her feet. Every door she passed creaked open on its own, revealing rooms that should not exist. One room held a massive shattered mirror, the shards reflecting images that weren't hers. In one fragment, she saw the family as they had been centuries ago, twisted, grotesque faces leering at her, their eyes hollow yet burning with unholy rage. Another fragment showed her own reflection, but her face was pale, her eyes voids, and the smile that stretched unnaturally across her lips was not hers. The house whispered in a tongue long forgotten, words that crawled into her mind, urging her to join them, to stay forever. Then came the sound of wings, rustling through the air like torn paper. From above, Sarah caught glimpses of shadowy vultures, possibly large, their wings blotting out the weak moonlight seeping through shattered windows. They weren't ordinary birds. They were the spirits of the old family, manifesting in monstrous forms. They circled overhead, their eyes piercing her soul, tracking her movements, and when they landed, the floorboards cracked beneath their weight, groaning like bones in the dirt. Sarah's rational mind screamed at her to flee, but the house had other plans. Doors slammed shut on their own, corridors twisted and shifted, and the exit vanished as if it had never existed. The further she went, the more the house revealed its true nature. Portraits of the family lined the hallways, but as she passed, the painted faces shifted, their expressions turning from disdain to hunger. Hands stretched from the walls, clawing at her clothes, brushing her skin with icy fingers that left burns. She could hear whispers behind her, taunting, pleading, promising secrets that no living soul should know. Each room seemed alive, breathing, shifting, its corners stretching impossibly far, creating a maze of terror. Sarah's flashlight flickered again, plunging her into darkness. In that instant, the vultures attacked, screeching, their shadows merging with the darkness, enveloping her. Massive chandeliers swayed despite no breeze, casting strobe-like shadows. On the walls, ancient inscriptions glowed faintly red, pulsing with energy. Sarah realized too late that these were not mere decorations. They were wards, traps, binding souls to the house. Her presence had awakened the house fully, and it hungered for a new victim. Shadows emerged from the floorboards, rising like smoke, coalescing into figures of the long-dead family. Their hands reached for her, eyes hollow yet burning with eternal anger. She stumbled backward, her mind fracturing as memories that were not hers flooded in images of rituals, sacrifices, and the unspeakable torment inflicted within these walls centuries ago. The house itself seemed to pulse every beat in sync with Sarah's racing heart. She tried to scream, but no sound emerged. Her voice was swallowed by the oppressive presence of the spirits. From the ceiling, vultures swooped, their beaks snapping just inches from her face. The walls twisted, corridors folding over themselves, and Sarah was trapped in a nightmare where every step forward led her deeper into the heart of the house. She could see glimpses of the outside world, tantalizingly close, yet impossibly distant, as though a cruel god toyed with her desperation. Then she found it a door unlike the others, carved with intricate runes that glowed faintly blue. Something instinctively told her that this was her only chance. She pushed it open, and for a brief moment, relief washed over her as she saw the moonlight streaming through a broken window. But the house was not done. As she ran toward freedom, the floor beneath her buckled, sending her tumbling down into a hidden basement. The darkness was complete here, a void that seemed to swallow all hope. Something skittered across the floor. She felt it brush her leg, cold and unnervingly human, yet wrong. The whispers returned, louder now, chanting in that ancient, incomprehensible tongue, pressing on her mind like an invisible vice. In the basement, she discovered the source of the house's power: an altar. Cracked and blackened with age, surrounded by cages filled with skeletal remains and twisted artifacts. The vultures circled above, perched on broken beams, watching. Sarah realized with horror that the family had been feeding on the fear and souls of intruders for centuries, binding them to the house. She felt their gaze pierce her soul, the invisible chains of the manor tightening. Panic overtook her as she tried to flee, but every exit led to more shadows, more traps, more terror. Summoning her last ounce of courage, Sarah grabbed one of the artifacts, an obsidian dagger etched with symbols of protection, and thrust it at the altar. The house shrieked, walls cracking, dust and debris raining down. Ow. The vultures screeched in pain as blue light erupted from the dagger, cutting through the darkness. The spirits of the family writhed, their forms dissolving into smoke and ash. Yet their whispers lingered, bitter and vengeful. Sarah felt herself lifted off the ground, a rush of wind pulling her through the twisting corridors until, finally, she burst out of a side window, collapsing onto the overgrown grounds beneath the cold moonlight. She didn't stop running until the manor was nothing but a distant silhouette, its broken windows staring like hollow eyes. The air outside felt surreal, normal, yet she knew the house still waited, hungry, patient, for the next curious soul. She vowed never to return, yet the nightmares came every night, vultures circling, whispers echoing, calling her back. Sarah's mind was forever marked by the ancient horrors she had witnessed, the shadows that lingered just beyond vision, and the knowledge that some evil never truly dies, it only waits. Even now, when she tells the story, she cannot shake the feeling of those eyes upon her, the faint brush of cold feathers in her hair, the whispers that cling to the corners of her consciousness. The Vulture House exists still, hidden, patient, and hungry. And should you ever stumble upon it, remember, curiosity is a dangerous thing. The house will test you, toy with you, and it will not let go. Because once you enter, you do not merely visit, the house makes you part of its eternity. This story, like all tales of the paranormal, is brought to you by Horror Ambient. If you enjoyed this chilling journey, don't forget to like and subscribe for more terrifying stories that will haunt your nights and keep you up after dark.